Britain has bid farewell to Queen Elizabeth II with a historic state funeral. Her coffin was placed in the royal vault at Windsor Castle near London, where she was buried in a private ceremony. Hundreds of thousands of people turned out to pay their respects as the hearse carrying the late Queen's coffin made its way to Windsor. We'll hear from our correspondent in London in just a moment, but first, this report on a funeral ceremony like no other, followed by millions of people around the world.
Queen Elizabeth begins her final journey. Her coffin made its way to Westminster Abbey. A full military guard accompanied the departed monarch, part of an ancient ceremony combining church, state and the royal family's history. Elizabeth's grandchildren followed her into the Abbey. Followed by her son, King Charles III, and the Queen Consort, Camilla. Readings were made by dignitaries, including the Archbishop of Canterbury, and hymns were sung. Then Queen Elizabeth II headed for her final resting place. As the funeral procession drove out of London to Windsor Castle, where it was met by huge crowds of mourners.
To suddenly see the car with the Queen, I think that's choked everybody up that's here today.
It was a way of celebrating the Queen's life. It was tinged with sadness because she's no longer here, but she's been my Queen all of my life.
It's a moment in history, so yeah, it was really emotional.
A brilliant monarch, and I don't think we'll see the likes of her again, but I wish King Charles all the very best.
The committal ceremony in the castle's chapel, where family, friends and royal officials bade their Queen farewell. Ceremony lived according to ancient tradition. And prayers were said as the Queen's coffin was lowered into the royal vault below. Before the service ended with the national anthem for a new era and the new king.
And joining me now from London is DW's Birgit Maas. Birgit, the UK has 10 days of mourning behind it. Emotions, tradition, a state funeral service like no other. How do things feel now that it's all over?
I think one of the overarching feelings is one of pride, that this event, this choreography went so incredibly well. And in the words of one of my friends, he said, planning, organization and heart. And I think that summarizes it really well. This is how a lot of people have been feeling, and, you know, so many people have been touched by it. But now, obviously, after this period that culminated in this enormous event, you know, where the nation could celebrate itself, now it's back to reality, I would say. And all eyes are on King Charles and how he will continue to conduct the monarchy.
We've seen an outpouring of support for the monarchy, love for the Queen. Do you think this bodes well for the future of the monarchy?
I think really all eyes are now on the new king, and he will start with a lot of goodwill. We have seen that his popularity has been rising since he has become king, and he said he will he's resolved to faithfully follow in his mother's footsteps. And he really needs to prove, in a way, that he is a good king, because it's a bit different to elected heads of state, because he is their he will most likely be there until he dies. So it's going to be a long period of time. You can't change kings as you can elected heads of state. So people will want to see that he is able to continue to unite the country behind him, just like his mother. Because if he can't, the eyes of the people who want change, they will be there and they will start to question and they will want him to change things.
Mm-hmm. Now, Queen Elizabeth's death has overshadowed the beginning of the new British Prime Minister's term in office. Politics has been on pause, but Liz Truss has got some work to do now, hasn't she? She's got some pretty pressing issues to deal with.
Well, yes, the country is facing a lot of big economic crises. There's a cost of living crisis, an energy crisis, as in other European countries. And Liz Truss has promised to tackle this head-on, as she says, and what she means is that she wants to boost investments. She wants to boost growth by quite aggressive measures, which means mostly tax cuts. Now she has to prove that this is going to be successful. All eyes will be on her. The markets need to be persuaded that this strategy can work, and there's a mini budget at the end of this week, so it's starting just now.
Birgit Maas in London, thank you so much.